is the India's most sincere learning destination for classes 1 to 10. So why is it most sincere? Because we try harder. So, what we generally get from Swiflearn, all the classes in Swiflearn are 100% live classes and interactive classes. So, over here, whatever you were doing in the classroom, everything is noted by your teacher, and you can ask any sort of doubt to your teacher. They will explain everything to you. Right. Secondly, we give personalized attention to each and every students in our batches because our batches consist of maximum 6 number of students, not more than that, right? Thirdly, we have a very good dedicated mentor team, academic mentor team, who continuously keep a track on the students progress. So how you are performing in the homework, how you are performing in the different tests, how you are performing in the classwork, also everything is tracked by our academic mentor team, and accordingly you will get your updates. And fourthly, that is very important, which is we cover all the syllabus as per your school examination schedule. That is also very important because you may have the different types of chapters in your school, right? Hi Anubhav, how are you? Okay, very good afternoon. Okay, so those are all covered by us, okay, and also we handle the custom request, right? So it is very important to complete all the syllabus and prepare yourself before going to the school examination. Hannah, so we do all these things. These are our general features, and now let us move on to our key features. So the key features of Swiflearn is we maintain a detailed progress report of all the students. So how you were performing in the homework, how you were doing the test, in which topic you need more improvement, where you were lagging, everything is tracked in this progress report, and accordingly in different intervals it will go to your parents, right? So you will be able to understand and you will be able to improve yourself better in certain topics. Fine. So this is which we done do. Secondly, we have the Swiflearn Academic Test Series, which we call in short as the SATs, where you will be able to perform and you will be able to see yourself where you are ranking. Right. Thirdly, you can take unlimited practice test. Hi, Jacob. How are you? Okay, so in this practice test, you will be able to understand in which topic you were lagging. By completing each and every topic, you can practice this test. And this test consists of the different types of questions, which can be your MCQ, which can be any other different type of objectives like filling the blanks, match the column, or true and false. All these types of questions are there, as well as the subjective test series are also there, where you will be able to practice the subjective test. You will write down all the answer according to your marks, and it will help you to score better, right? So sometimes you can see that you know everything, the concept is clear, but you are lagging somewhere, or you are not giving the key words within the answer, and that is why you are not scoring great, right? So our teachers will help you to understand, and also they will provide you the tips that where you need the improvement, how you will write the answer, where you need to give some of the diagrams in case of science and all. So you will accordingly practice those answers, and you will score better in both the school exam as well as your board exam. So these are the key features of Swiflearn. So to experience all these features, please book a free trial class. So all the trial classes are free, so you can book anytime and you can experience all these things. You will get a great like idea about Swiflearn. Okay. Okay, so now what you have to do is please subscribe our channel in Swiflearn in YouTube. You already know that Swiflearn is there in YouTube, so that you can get all the upcoming classes. You will be able to see them. So press the bell icon and never miss any update about the upcoming classes of Swiflearn. Okay, so be with us. Like, comment, and share with all your friends and family members. Okay, now let us move on to the topic, right? Okay, so you already know that we were doing about the topic of windstorm and cyclone, right? So we have done already the two sessions about this topic, and this is the third session of windstorm and cyclone. So we have discussed a lot of thing over there in the previous session, like what are the different characteristic features of wind, what are the different characteristic features of air, how the air blows from one region to another region. More specifically, it blows from the high pressure zone to the low pressure zone, right? And also we discussed about the warm air always move upward because it is lighter than the cold air, right? So these are the different things which we have already discussed in the previous session. So we will learn more about this storm, and mainly we will discuss about cyclone in this session. Okay, so let us see what we will study today. First, we will recall some of the concepts which we have already done in the previous sessions, but these are also related with the cyclone, that which we will discuss today. Okay, then we will study about the causes of cyclone, what are the different causes of cyclone, how it happens, okay, and what are the destructions which are caused by this cyclone. We will study all these things and how to take the preventive measures to keep ourselves safe from this type of destruction. Okay, then we will study about the tornadoes, where generally in which type of geographical region these tornadoes actually takes place. Then we will study about the safety measures which we need to take during this tornado, and we will study about some of the use of advanced technology which help us to know about this cyclone and this tornadoes before, okay, before it is coming, and that help us to take the different preventive measures so that we will not face those type of natural calamities, and the lives will be saved, right? That is more important. So this we will study in today's session. Now let us move on to whatever we have already studied in the previous sessions. So in the previous classes we have already studied that the uneven heating takes place on the earth's surface, which causes due to the various reasons, right? And we also discussed about the formation of the thunderstorm and what are the different safety precautions we may take to avoid the great danger or to avoid the great damage which can happen during this thunderstorm, right? So can you tell me one answer, which phenomena is actually responsible for this thunderstorm? Yes, let me see who can give me the correct answer first in the chat box. Yes. So already let me remind you the different phenomena which we have already studied in the previous session. That one is wind always blow from the high pressure region to the low pressure region, right? And secondly, the second phenomena which we studied is the warm air is always lighter than the cold air, and that is why it rises up in the upper layer of the atmosphere, right? So these are the different concepts which we have studied in the previous session, and we already proved this with the help of the different type of examples and different types of experiments, right? Exactly. So now can you tell me which phenomena is actually responsible for this thunderstorm? Yes, we know that the warm air always rise upward, right? So when the swift movement of this air which is rising upward and the falling of the water droplets takes place together, they create the light and the sound. And this light and sound, due to the continuous flowing of the water droplets and the air current upward, this causes the thunderstorm. Fine. Understood up to this much? Okay, so let us now start with what today we will study. So, first topic of discussion for today's session is cyclone. Right? Already I have told you. Now, can you tell me how does a cyclone form? Yes. Let me see who can give me a correct answer, that what is a cyclone and why does it happen? Where does it actually happen and how it happens? Any example? Or any example of cyclone also you can give. The most recent cyclone which happened in the last year is Amphan. Remember, it happened in the Bay of Bengal, exactly. So can you tell me how what is actually this cyclone? Yes. Okay. So it is a weather system or a weather condition in which the wind rotates inwardly to a region where the low atmospheric pressure is created. Fine. And it actually, the high speed wind rotates around this low pressure zone. Fine. So you can see over here the cartoon picture of the cyclone is given in the screen, right? Okay, so now we will study how actually the cyclone happens. And generally, the cyclone happens on the ocean or over the sea, right? Now, before going to the concept how it happens, we need to understand how cloud is formed. So, I guess you already have an idea of how cloud is formed, right? You have already studied about the water cycle, right? What are the different types of processes which are happening within the atmosphere, like evaporation of the water from the water bodies, from the surface of the water bodies, right? Yes, when the sun's heat fall on the water bodies, so evaporation takes place from the surface of the water bodies, where the water will be converted into the water vapor, right? Exactly. And when they will rise up, when by becoming the water vapor, they will form the cloud by condensation process, where the small little droplets of the rainwater will be formed. And when the cloud becomes so much heavy that it will not be able to hold that much amount of water vapor, it falls as the precipitation, right? It depends upon the weather condition or the climate, like the precipitation may happen in case of in form of rainfall. It can be sometimes in case of like in the form of hail or snowfall. It depends, right? Okay, now can you tell me like what actually the different changes of the energy takes place while the formation of the cloud take place? Yes, anybody have an idea? Okay, so when the cloud are formed by the water vapor, we know that it is formed by the water vapor which is present in the air, right? Now when the water vapor is formed, what is actually happening? It is taking up the heat energy from the atmosphere, right? So during the formation of the water vapor from the water, it takes up the heat and becomes the gaseous form, that is the water vapor. So it takes up the heat from the atmosphere. Now, what will happen to this energy when they will again change to the water droplets or the raindrops? Can you tell me? Yes. So, when they are forming from water to water vapor, they are taking up the heat energy. Right? Now, what will happen when they will just form the water from the water vapor? Just the opposite, like in case of condensation. Yeah, during the formation of the cloud. Yes, they will give out the heat energy, right? So they will release the heat energy in the surrounding atmosphere. Now, while they will release the heat energy, it will warm up the air around it, right? Due to the release of the heat energy. And we already studied that the warm air rises up because it is lighter than the cold air. Similarly, over here also the warm air which will get the heat from the cloud or from when the water droplets are formed, so they will take up the heat and they will like start rising up in the upper atmospheric layer, right? Up to this much clear? Exactly. Now when this series of events will take place, like releasing of the heat, formation of the raindrops, by that, and continuously the lighter air will be takes place, and like the air will become warm and lighter, and then it will go up and up and up. They will form a low pressure zone in between, right? Because the air is continuously moving upward, so in between there will be a low pressure zone, right? So when there is a low pressure zone in between, what will happen? Continuously, the high speed wind will revolve around it, right? And this revolving of the high speed wind in between where the low pressure region is present, this condition is known as cyclone, right? Generally, it happens on the sea or the ocean. Now, have you got an idea how this cyclone is formed? Yes, it forms due to the formation of the cloud, and when the cloud from the cloud the heat energy is going up, it is giving up the heat to the surrounding air. When the surrounding air becomes hot, it will go upward, and when it will go upward, it will create some low pressure zone in between, and when there is a low pressure zone, there will be continuous moving of the high pressure or the high wind around it, and it will form the condition which is known as cyclone. I guess up to this much is clear. Yes, if you have any question, any doubt, please write it down in the chat box. I'll clear all your doubt. Right? So look at this picture now carefully. So you over here you can see certain temperature is there in the warm in the water of the ocean. Now continuously the heat of the water vapor will move upward, okay, when from the surface of this ocean, and when they will move on to the upper part of the atmosphere, they will condense and they will start falling as the rainfall. Now, when they are condensing, they are giving out the heat, right? They are releasing the heat. Now, when they are releasing the heat, the warm air is continuously go upward in the upward region, right? It will continuously go upward, creating a middle low pressure zone. Can you see this middle low pressure zone? It is given in a red colored arrow. Yes, exactly. So it will create the middle low pressure zone, and can you see the air around it? Yes, so the air around it will start blowing and rotating in high speed, and you can see over here the blue arrows are actually denoting the cold air, and the red arrow is actually representing you with the hot air which is going upward, and the cold air being heavier than the hot air, it will come downward, right? So the hot air is going upward continuously, and the cold air will from the different surrounding, it is, you can see over here from the left hand side, from the right hand side, as well as from the back and front, it is continuously in all directions starts moving around the low pressure zone, and it creates this cyclone. Okay, up to this much clear? Okay, now I would like to tell you another thing, that is the middle portion which you can see as the low pressure zone. It is known as the eye of the cyclone. Okay, why it is known as the eye of the cyclone? It is a very light air is flowing over here, and this region is totally cloudless. Okay, chalo, now let me show you how it happens. Before going to how it happens and actually showing you the picture of the cyclone, I would like to ask you, you have already got an idea how this cyclone is formed, right? How it causes. Now, can you tell me some of the factors which are actually involved in this condition, in this weather condition, or for the formation of the cyclone? Yes, what are the main factors? Yes, first we can say that the first factor is the temperature of the place, right? The temperature is very important over here, right? Secondly, the factor is the wind speed, how the speed of the wind is around the low pressure region. Okay, so the second factor we can say that the wind speed. Thirdly, it depends upon the humidity of the place. So obviously, according to the temperature, not only the temperature will help to create the create the cloud and formation of the rainfall, it also helps because of the presence of a proper humid place, right? So the humidity is also important for this factor. And the fourth one is the direction of the wind, in which direction the wind is blowing. So these are the main four factors upon which the cyclone depends. Okay, so what are the four factors? I'm repeating it again. First one is the temperature of the place, second one is the wind speed, third one is how much atmospheric water vapor is there, that is the humidity of the place, and fourth one is the direction of the wind. So have you ever observed that when you are just pour some water on your sink or the basin, right? So what happens? Does the water exactly go directly through the drain? No, it first just when it goes towards the drain, it just circulate within that region, and then the water pass away through the drain, right? So the similar thing happen in case of the cyclone also. It seems to be similar, okay, but the phenomena obviously is different. Okay, now let us move on to the structure of the cyclone. Just look at this structure. Generally, this structure of the cyclone is taken by the different satellites, okay, which are revolving in the upper atmospheric region. Okay, you can see this type of things, the images which are captured by the different satellites. Okay, so this type of structure, the rotating structure, or we can say that the rotation of the air in the atmosphere causes the cyclone. Now, what is the height of this cyclone from the ground or from the sea level? The height of the cyclone from the sea level is 10 to 15 kilometer high. Okay, so it goes up, the warm air actually goes up high above the atmosphere, and then it forms the cyclone. Clear hai? Okay, now let us move on to what is the eye of the cyclone. As I have already said, what happens in between where the actual low pressure zone is formed within the cyclone? Yes, there is no cloud, but only light wind is blowing. And this low pressure zone or the middle of the cyclone is known as the eye of the cyclone. Okay, so the center of the cyclone where there is very low pressure and no cloud at all, but very light wind is blowing, this region is known as the eye of the storm or eye of the cyclone. Clear? Hai? Okay, now let us move on to the diameter. Okay, so this cloud region which lies around this eye of the cyclone, you can see over here in this picture that this one, the middle portion is the eye of the cyclone, and there is the cloud around it, right? So the diameter of this cloud from the eye of the cyclone may vary from around 150 kilometer. Okay, so the diameter of the cyclone, okay, I'm sorry, it actually from here to here, and I was first talking about the radius. So the diameter of this cyclone can be of 150 kilometer approximately. Okay, so this is the region where the cyclone is happening. Fine. Now let us move on to the wind speed. What is the high speed of wind during the cyclone? Yes, it can be from 150 to 250 kilometer per hour of wind, which can happen, and it will accompanied by the heavy rainfall. Okay, so this is all about the cyclone. What is the structure of the cyclone? I guess you have already got an idea how it happens, how the cyclone is caused, what is the structure, what is the wind speed, as well as what is the height of the cyclone and the diameter of the cyclone. Clear hai? If you have any idea, if you have like any question or any doubt, you can ask me in the chat box. Okay, now let us move on to what are the different destructions which are caused by the cyclone. Can you tell me some of the destruction which you have heard or you have seen, because there was some time cyclone came to your region also? Because cyclone can happen in India all the time. It actually happens, right? In most of the years, right? Yes, like some of them have unfun had happened in the last year. We can say hudhud before that. Okay, so these are the different types of cyclone we have faced a lot of time, right? Have you ever experienced it? Yes. So can you tell me what are the general destructions which are done by them? Yes. Okay. First of all, it actually happens, as I have already said, on the ocean or the sea, right? Because of the low pressure. So first effect we can see on the waves of the ocean or the waves of the sea, where the waves can go up to the high, which can be from 3 meter to 12-meter height of the wave, right? So this is the destruction generally caused in the region which are close to the sea beach, or we can say the coastal areas, right? Yes. Okay, so when the high waves hit the shore, obviously there will be a lot of damage in the life forms in those coastal region, as well as the properties, all the house, hotels, buildings, right? The different shops, right? They all get distracted by this cyclone, right? Exactly. Okay, hi Anubhav, how are you? Okay. Secondly, we can say that the soil is destroyed by the cyclone, right? The fertility of the soil, which is the actual capacity to grow the different crops or grow the different trees. Hi Vinay, how are you? Okay, so this fertility can be lost by this type of cyclone. So this is the second type of damage which can cause due to the cyclone. Third wala thing is very important. Due to the very high speed of the wind, we can see that the telephonic communication lines are cut. There will be no electricity, or power cut generally happens during this region, right? Then the trees which are present in those region, they are completely uprooted, right? Then we can see there is total damage of the houses, total loss of life forms, mainly who have not taken any sort of preventive measure being warned before that, right? So these are the different things which we can see, and this type of distractions are done, means are caused due to this cyclone. So this is very dangerous natural calamities which we can face, right? Exactly. Okay, yes, Anubhav, definitely I'll tell you about the Discord. Okay, in the class we film it. Thank you, thank you. Yes, Vinay, I'm fine. How are you, beta? Okay. Now let us move on to the different names of the cyclone. So as I have already said a lot of thing about the cyclone, so this cyclone is known by the different names in the different region of the world, okay, in the different parts of the world. So in American continent it is known as hurricane, and in Japan and Philippines it is known as the typhoon, right? So these are the different names of, but the phenomena is similar, that is the cyclone, but the different region or the different parts of the world is called, they call the cyclone, they have given the cyclone the different names, right? Okay, now we will move on to the very important part. What are the safety measures which we should take during this type of situation or during this type of condition? So we must take certain preventive measures or the safety measures while the news are coming to to us through the television or radio or newspaper, right? So what are the different preventive measures which we can take? First of all, a cyclone forecast and warning service is always there, and for by following these types of warning, we should take the different preventive measures so that we will not be able to like face any sort of danger, right? Okay, now rapid communication of the warnings to the government agencies are given. It is given to the different ports, generally the water side, or the people who continuously work in the water side, right? In the fishermen, the warning is given to the ship and to the general people also who are present near that region. Okay, so these are the different warning things which are given to the different uh, people, so that they will not get any sort of damage, or they will prevent themselves from the different types of damage during the cyclone, right? Now, so as you already know about the device or which actually measure the speed of the wind, that is known as the anemometer, right? So there are the anemometers which are present in the coastal areas also. So the speed of this wind is measured regularly in the coastal region, so that they will be able to understand or predict whether the cyclone is coming or not, right? So this type of safety measures we can take by looking into the by using the different types of devices like anemometer. Okay, now coming to how we can prevent ourselves from the cyclone if it happens in our region or our locality. What will happen? Yes, first of all, we should not ignore any warning which is coming from the weather forecasting team, right? Whatever warning is coming from the weather forecasting team through television or radio or the mm, like different newspaper, we have to take care, we have to listen to them, and we should not ignore all these warnings, right? Secondly, we should not drive on roads that have standing water, as they might be damaged, right? While you were traveling or you were driving on the roads, there may be certain region where the water is collected. You never know that whether there is a crack under that water, because you will not be able to see that time, that one, right? So you should avoid driving in the road, and mainly you should avoid the standing water on the road during the cyclone, right? Thirdly, we should keep all the emergency numbers to ourselves, so that we can seek help when it is required. I'm very much specifically telling you when it is actually required, okay? Not if it is not that much required at that time, because it is a very serious condition, right? Exactly. So if it is coming to your area, or if the cyclone is hitting to your area, please do not drink water that can be contaminated. So always store some water for the emergency purposes, store some drinking water so that you can get the supply of the drinking water, right? Secondly, do not touch any wet switches or any power lines which are cut and fallen on the ground on the road, right? So never touch those things. Thirdly, we should not go out just for a sake of fun. Yes, cyclone is coming, I will dance in the cyclone. Never do that, right? So that is very much dangerous, okay? Fourthly, do not pressurize the rescue force by making any undue sort of demands. And that is why I was stressing on the word that never make any emergency call to anybody for any undue demands. If you were really in the emergency situation, then only call them and ask for help, right? And also cooperate and help your neighborhood as well as your friends and relatives who are present nearby in your location. These are the different things we should do during this type of natural calamities. Okay, understood? Is there any question, any doubt you can ask me? Yes? Okay. Now let us move on to the tornado. Can anybody tell me what is tornado? Yes, in the chat box. Let me see who can tell me what is tornado. Yes. Or can you tell me any region or any country where generally we can see most of the tornado happens? Yes. Okay. Most of the tornadoes are reported from the United States, and generally tornadoes happen in the warm, humid condition. Fine. So, in the moist, warm air where it is present over that region, the tornado happens. And it doesn't happen on the sea or ocean, it actually happens on the land. Okay. So, can you get the idea or the difference between the tornado and the cyclone? Right? Exactly. So the tornado are reported most of the time from United States, as already I have said, and the tornado actually happens when the warm, humid air collides with the cold and dry air. So that is how the tornado happens. But the phenomena of the tornado is almost similar to that of the cyclone. Okay, so a tornado is a dark funnel shaped cloud that reaches from the sky to the ground. Can you see the tornado, the picture of the tornado over here? Yes, it is a dark cloud which is forming from the sky towards the ground. Okay, and it happens also similar to the that of the cyclone, that there is a low pressure zone created and the high pressure region created, and continuously the hot air goes upward and the cold air moves downward, but the diameter of this tornado is much lesser or smaller than that of the cyclone. Fine. So what will happen in this case? You can see the picture of the tornado, right? Exactly. So this is the funnel like shape of the tornado, which sucks everything that comes near it at the base, because of the low pressure exerted by the wind, right? So because of the difference of between the low pressure region and the high pressure region, just like the cyclone, it also happened, but it happens on the land, not on the ocean. Fine. Okay. Now, the diameter of the tornado. I already told you that the diameter is much lesser than that of the cyclone. So, it can range from 1 meter to several kilometers. Okay. Then the tornado can be formed within the cyclone as well sometimes. Okay, so when the cyclone come towards the ground region or the coastal areas, the tornado can happen on the ground. Okay, and in the tornado the wind blows at a speed of 300 kilometer per hour. So the diameter may be smaller than that of the cyclone, but the wind speed is much higher than that of the cyclone. Okay, so what is the wind speed? It can be the average wind speed can be 300 kilometer per hour. Clear? Yes, I think you have got an idea about the tornado and also got the idea what is the difference between tornado and the cyclone. Yeah. Okay. Now let us move on to the safety measures which we should take during this tornado. As I have already said that we have to protect ourselves from these situations by getting the warning from the different government agencies. Yes, so to protect ourselves in the tornado, we should take shelter underground rooms. Yeah, okay, so in the underground rooms, we should take shelter where there will be no windows at all. Okay, but if you don't have any underground room, you can take shelter in the rooms which are having the windows, but the windows must be closed totally, and you can hide yourself under the table or the work bench, and you should bow down on the knees so that your head and neck will be protected with the help of your arms. So in this position you have to take preventive measure of yourself, right? You can uh, like take this type of position when there is any windows within the room. Okay, and you will make sure that you will like not face any sort of danger. Okay, so this is the type of condition how we can take the safety measures during the tornado. So take the shelter in the underground room. If there is no underground room, you can take the shelter in the room having the windows, but keep your windows closed. Okay, and hide yourself under the table in this position. Fine. Okay, now let us move on to the last topic of today's discussion, that is what are the different rules of the technology which help us to predict and protect ourselves from this type of natural calamities. Right, there are certain different types of satellites and the radars continuously they help in predicting the weather condition, and they help to predict the cyclones, okay, ahead of time, before some time, so that we can take some precautionary measure and accordingly we will act. Okay, and there will be less damage than that of if we don't know anything about those situation. Right, exactly. So there are now several national and international organizations also who continuously monitor the cyclone related issues. So they generally provide some cyclone watch or cyclone alert which is given like 2 days before the storm which is coming in the different expected area. Okay, and it is warned to the people that please take care of yourself and take the preventive measures because there are some cyclone which is coming to this region, and accordingly they will act and take care of themselves. Okay. Yes. So this is all about the cyclone, tornado, and what are the different the preventive measures which we should take to avoid all these types of natural calamities. Right. Now let us move on to some important facts. Yes. What are the important facts? Let us see. The tornadoes are generally likely to occur between 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. But it can occur at any time. But most of the reported tornadoes happen or occurred during 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. Secondly, the damage part of the tornadoes can be in excess of 1 mile wide and 50 miles long. Okay. Thirdly, the Indian subcontinent is one of the worst affected region in the world because this subcontinent with a long coastline, it has like 8,041 kilometers of coastline it has, which is exposed to nearly 10% of the world's tropical cyclone. And that is why we generally face a lot of cyclone in different years, right? Exactly. Chalo. So let me now give you the challenge of the day. So today's challenge of the day is, are there any tornadoes in the Arctic Circle? Think and justify your answer. Let me see who can give me the correct answer now first. Yes. Yes, let me see who can give me the correct answer. Is there any tornado which is experienced generally in the Arctic Circle? If yes, why? And if not, why? You have to give a proper reason for your answer. Let me see who can give me the proper reason. Yes. Okay. So tornado actually never happens in the Arctic Circle. Okay. So the answer will be a no. Okay. Why it will not happen? Because for the formation of the tornado, it needs the moist and warm air. But the moist of warm air is not present in the Arctic Circle, and that is why it is very much unusual in that type of latitude to happen tornado. Okay, understand? Okay, now let us move on to certain question answers. Okay, let me see what are the questions waiting for you. So the first question is a true and false. Okay, let me see what will be the answer. The first question is, cyclone appears a dark funnel shaped structure. Is it true or false? I'm repeating the sentence again. Cyclone appears a dark funnel shaped structure. Is it true or false? Yes? What do you say? True or false? It is false, right? Because the dark funnel shaped cloud is generally formed in case of the tornado. Yes, okay. So you can see the answer. It is false. Second question. The calm center of the cyclone is called what? Is it called the water spout, or it is called head, or it is called the storm simply, or it is called the eye of the cyclone? Yes. What is the center of the cyclone called, where there will be very light wind and there will be the total low pressure zone created over there? Yes. Can you tell me what is the answer? Yes, it is the eye, right? Yes, the calm center of the cyclone is known as the eye of the cyclone. Yes, correct. You can see the answer. Yes. Okay. Now let us move on to the third question, which are there are five filling the blanks. Okay. So first sentence is asking for dash develops in the tropical region. Okay, what actually develops in the tropical region? Second sentence is dash does not occur in India. What does not occur in India? You have to write. Thirdly, factors like dash, comma, wind direction, comma, dash, and humidity contribute to the development of the cyclone. So we have already studied about the four different factors which actually causes the cyclone, right? Okay. And the last one is dash and typhoon are the other names of the cyclone. Let me see who can give me the correct answer. Yes. So the first question is, dash develops in the tropical region. What develops in the tropical region? We already studied it is the cyclone, right? Okay. Now next is dash does not occur in India. Okay. So let me see what does not occur in India. I think it's the tornado. Okay. Thirdly, the different factors of which are upon which the cyclone depends. The factors like dash, which can be like wind speed. Yes, the factors like wind speed, wind direction, then temperature, and humidity. Upon these four factors, the cyclones are dependent upon, right? We have already asking which of the following places most likely to be affected by a cyclone. Yes, can you tell me which is the among these four, Goa, Puri, Porbandar, and uh, Mumbai, which is the most likely to be affected by the cyclone? Yes, I think it's Puri, right? Yes, okay. So Puri is the correct answer. So all of you have given me the correct answer, right? Okay. So we have already discussed about the question answers. So let us now conclude what we have already studied today. So we have studied a lot of thing about the cyclone, how it is caused. So the causes of the cyclone. Then we have discussed about the destructions which are caused by the cyclone. Yes, mainly in the coastal region, what type of destructions they cause. Then we studied about the tornadoes, how they are formed and in which region they are formed. Generally, they form on the land, right? And what are the different safety measures we should take during this natural calamities in case of the cyclone as well as the tornadoes. We have studied about them, right? And finally, we have discussed about what are the uses of the advanced technology for the prediction and the protection from the cyclone, right? How they predict them and protect us from the different types of natural calamities. Okay, so these are the different things which we have already studied in today's session. I guess you have understood all of them. Yes? Do you have any question? If you have any question, please give it to me in the chat box. Please write it in the chat box. I'll clear all your doubts. Okay. Hopefully, you have understood everything, right? Okay. So, thank you very much. We will again meet in another session. So, before going, let me remind you what you have to do. Please subscribe our channel in YouTube and press on the bell icon so that you will be updated with all the upcoming sessions of Swiflearn. So, stay with us, like, comment and share in all the uh, different sessions, and we will again meet in another session with a new type of topic. Okay, so till then, bye bye, take care, stay safe, and